Hello, and welcome to Bearded PT. I am the Bearded PT. I hope everybody had a good Christmas this year and that Santa was good to you. I know he was good to me. However, another year gone by and still no truck. I'm still gonna blame that little elf. But anyways, I've got a new story here for you. A little story about my vehicle. Earlier this year I had some issues with my cam position sensor. And so I took it into the mechanic and he went ahead and replaced it and life was good. However, a few weeks later, I'd noticed my check engine light came on again and a few other blinking lights. Well, that's interesting. My car's running fine. I don't hear anything in particular. I have a new sensor in there. After a few starts, the lights turned off and life went back to normal. And then a few days later, there they are again. Check engine light, a couple other blinking lights. Okay, this is getting kind of more concerning. And this went on for a little while. It'd go off, and then it'd come back on, and it'd go off. And finally, I was starting to get a little too worried about this. So I went ahead and took it back into the mechanic. And he was gracious enough to give me a loaner car. Good thing, because he had my vehicle for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. This started going on 4 days, almost a full week. And I gave him a call and I asked him, hey, what's going on with the car? And he was telling me, well, I've had a couple of computers hooked up to your car trying to figure out what was going on. The cam position sensor keeps going off. But we really couldn't find anything. So I've called the engineers in Indiana and been talking with them as well. And they've been trying to figure it out through the computers as well. Our next step is to fly one of them out, actually, to come look at your vehicle and see if they can figure it out. And I said, whoa, stop. That sounds expensive. Let's talk about this a little bit. And I asked him, so is there something wrong with my engine? Is the positions of the cam really off, or is there something going to happen to my engine? And he said, no, your engine's working pretty fine. We can't find anything wrong with your car in particular. We just can't figure out why the sensor's going off. And I said, well, that's interesting. So if when the sensor goes off and those lights come on, am I going to be okay? And he said, yeah, I expect that. Okay, well then why don't we just leave the sensor as it is, stop spending any more money, and I'll be okay with the lights coming on when they come on, knowing it's not going to break down. He said, yeah, I think that could work. So I went down, picked it up, and since then I really haven't had an issue. The cam position sensor didn't go off again. But I thought that was interesting. What does this have to do with anything that we're really talking about? Well, just like my car, our bodies have sensors throughout our body monitoring everything that's going on. In your car, you've got cam position sensors, you got a sensor in your gas tank, you got sensors for oil pressure, tire pressure, engine temperature. Your body's much the same. And these little sensors are attached by a wire, and when they are activated, it sends a little electrical impulse up the wire to the computer in the car, and it lights up the lights on your dash, and it's up to you to figure out what's going on. Now, I know when my cam position sensor, the lights were going on, I really didn't know what it was, because all it was check engine light, brake light, and another light kind of blinking. It didn't tell me that it was the cam position sensor, so I got a little worried. I saw dollar signs floating around in my mind. So your body's much the same way. It can end up with some extra sensitive sensors. Now, in your body, you have 400 separate nerves that are running throughout your body. If you stitch them end to end, that's 45 miles worth of nerves just for you, monitoring everything that's going on in your body. And embedded within the cell wall of those nerves, we have different types of sensors. They're called ion channels. We have movement sensors, temperature sensors, we have stress sensors, you can tell when you're stressed. We have immune sensors as well, all sorts of different types of sensors. Now what's interesting about these little guys is they have a half-life of only 48 hours. They don't live very long. Your body's constantly exchanging them out. So within a matter of a few days, your body has a whole entire new set of sensors throughout your body, billions of them. And what's also interesting about these little sensors is that there's only so much room on the cell wall for so many sensors. And so, in order to have a happy life, you have to have a balance of them. But your body can end up adding more of one type of sensor based upon what the body deems as more important or what it is concerned about. Now, if the body's concerned about movement potentially being a threat to your body, guess what it's going to add? More movement sensors. If you've noticed that the temperature changes outside seem to activate some of your pain, you probably have an overabundance of temperature sensors. It's not that the temperature is causing damage to your body. This is you have sensitive nerves sensitive to temperature because of extra temperature sensors, ion channels. And what's nice about this is it can reverse itself and it can go back into a balance. Now, when it comes to these nerves and what they send, what kind of message do they send? Just like in your car, when the sensor activates, it sets an electrical impulse up to the computer, and the computer activates certain lights, and it's up to you to figure out what to do and what it is. Your body works the same way too. When the ion channels activate your nerves, it sends an electrical impulse about what's going on and whether or not this is potentially danger. It doesn't actually send a message about pain. Now, if you remember my little list of different types of sensors, one of them that does not exist is a pain sensor. We do not have pain sensors in our bodies or ion channels. Again, we have movement ion channels, we have temperature sensors, we have stress sensors, immune sensors, blood flow sensors, but no pain sensors. So your nerves actually don't send off a pain message. They send a message about potential threat. Oh, that's potentially threatening. Lights up a little lights in your brain, and your brain then responds with what to do about it. It grabs your attention. In fact, it produces pain in order to grab your attention. Now it's up to you to figure out what's going on and what to do about it. So to answer the question, if part of your body is injured, special pain receptors convey the pain message to your brain, that answer is false, because we don't have pain sensors and your nerves aren't sending pain messages. So the message today is that we have all sorts of different types of little sensors. They can get imbalanced. We don't have pain sensors, but they'll send messages to the brain about what's going on and the potential threat behind it. And it's your brain that's figuring out what to do about it. Now again, I want to remind you that none of this ever means that pain is all in your head. But your brain has a very important role in what you are experiencing. So we're going to dive a little bit further into this muck and mire of what pain is. Again, the old idea that Rene Descartes had, that pain is coming from your body, just doesn't hold water. So let's, again, put that aside. So, tune in next time as we talk a little bit more about how this all works and then what to do about it. I hope you have a happy new year and that things go well in 2018 and we can live a healthier, more active lifestyle. Let's get moving, people.